Hey everyone, it's Luke here, and we're going to be jumping back on Legacy Craft. This video is going to be structured a bit differently, mostly because I didn't really check my audio settings enough when I was recording, and I totally messed it up. So none of my mic volume was actually recorded, so what you're hearing right now is me doing a voiceover. So it's going to be a bit different, but should be hopefully the same Legacy Craft. And you see me load back in first time in quite a while. So if you're watching this, welcome back. It's been a bit. Still have the dog. And I just start off kind of looking at what I was doing last time, like the bridge, looking at the Nether portal, saw I was up top of the mountains. So yeah, I was just kind of observing my space. You're probably not going to hear me go, oh wow, to everything when I was playing in previous episodes. That was kind of a little silly funny meme I was doing. Just looking at this house, checking what I had in the furnaces. I had a good bit of iron and gold from the mining trip, which is great because now I have a bunch of materials. I can do some cool exploring and building and, you know, more of the crafting. I did the mining, now time to do the crafting. So the first thing I decided to do here was to build a little idea board, because I feel like sometimes in these episodes I don't really have a clear objective, and so sometimes I'm a bit all over the place. I don't really have a really clear idea of what I'm gonna do. So I was building this board here. I'm thinking every episode I'll try to place a sign and have a few objectives, and so this I want to do the mountain scaling, nether focus, and it cut pretty early, but almost livestock as well. So I'm looking at the mountain, and mountain scaling, basically what that means is that I want to create a staircase that goes up the mountain, or I was even contemplating a minecart rail system, because I have a bunch of gold and iron. I could make the powered rails and rails. But I ended up just going for a staircase, which you'll see here after I craft I think the first diamond tool of the run, what am I saying? This isn't a roguelike, this is Minecraft. This is Legacy Craft, actually. So, got the diamond pickaxe for some obsidian, almost get blown up by a creeper. I wish it recorded my mic. I remember I let a funny noise, and then I'm like, oh, that was kind of embarrassing. I made a little squeak or something. Tried patching it up too, but you see, I have mostly oak and cobblestone. In the future, you know, as I even improve at building, I'm probably gonna switch to using more different types of resources, so it's a bit more varied in texture. I still think it turned out alright, but I think there's a few things here and there I could have done to maybe make it look a bit more organic, but I figured a part of the appeal to Legacy Craft is thinking about what it was like to play when you used to play, you know, whether it was on the Xbox 360, Pocket Edition, whatever. I mean, this is technically on 1.20.1, I believe. So it's a newer version, but the appeal to Legacy Craft is mostly, I think, in the visual style, but with the modern features and updates. So I figured I'll just kind of build what I was thinking, not take it too seriously, and just having no regard for my own life as I totally fall. And I do it again. And I'm on 1.5 heart. After this, I'm like, ooh, maybe I should eat something too. I'm building at night. Get my health up. Keep building. So I'm trying to scale this mountain, and I wasn't sure if I should go right up to the Nether portal, or I didn't have a really exact path in my mind. I'm like, I'll just try to keep it close to the side of the mountain, and I'll deal with little bits here and there. And this part of the staircase looks kind of janky, but I figured if it's a little janky, that's not a problem. And to break it up, I'm like, I have a bunch of logs. I really like having log support beams. It's a pretty simple, easy thing to do. I'm not the first to implement this. I'm sure this has been around for literally the inception of building in Minecraft. But it was kind of building that I think has a really nice visual aesthetic. And here I take a step back, and you can kind of see what I got going so far. Got some support beams, I guess, even though it's not really supporting anything, it's coming from the side. And I don't know if you guys remember, it's been so long. We have the mining area in that cave to the right, So I'm already building up to get to the Nether portal. I might as well have a part of this branch out to the mines. So that's what I end up doing here. I make it kind of a cobblestone path, and I don't show it finished. I go back and add some support beams, but here I'm just working on the farm. I end up finishing the wooden hoe and crafting an iron one eventually, so hoe shouldn't break for a while. But progress on the farm, getting some bread, having more seeds grow. And then I'm like, it's kind of a treacherous bridge and a staircase. So I crafted some oak fences, not to make like an actual railing, right? But I figured here and there, especially on some of the treacherous turns, I could add that, and that would work out as a cool visual, but also kind of useful thing. So I'm not running off the edge all the time. I still might, I'll probably actually bump into the fence and then fall over. But yeah, I continue to add more of the wooden support beams. I kind of have those cobblestone platforms as the little transition point. I totally messed up that log. Thought it was funny to jump cut it, so included that. Here's more of those support beams. I mean, it costs a bit of logs, I guess, but it's a really simple thing. I got some apples on the stairs. And this bit's sped up a bit as I just do a bunch more details, and I kind of finish where it connects. The Nether portal is actually up and to the left, but I don't know if I was getting like bored of this. I don't think so. I figured it would just make sense to go up to the right. I don't know. It would have been a lot bigger. And here is an Enderman. I had to clear the top of this mountain and torch it up a bit. And I was able to get under a tree and get the first ender pearl of the run. So I try to tuck that away in the corner of my inventory. And here I get a nice little sweep of what we got so far. It's a lot of oak. It's a lot of oak planks and stuff, so I could spruce it up a bit. Actually, like literally and metaphorically. Thank you for noticing. And yeah, but I end up just sticking to oak for a while. I don't know, you guys can leave suggestions about what kind of builds I could do, what kind of blocks maybe would work well. I don't know too much about block palettes. I know that's a part of building though. I've watched a few YouTubers here and there that have done that. And eventually, I get over to the Nether portal, and I mined out one of the corners, replaced it with the crying obsidian, and then just put one of the other pieces of obsidian that was in the corner up top. So even though there's the crying obsidian in the corners, it would operate as a cool Nether portal, and it's a 3-wide one, which I never built. So here I just get a few shots of it. I actually had to run down, I cut this part out, I had to run down and get flint and steel because I totally forgot to bring that up. But here I light it, and we got the Nether portal. I always like keeping the ruined Nether portal. I think it's a cool entrance aesthetic. And here is me checking out the spawn. Sometimes you can get some bad spawns, I have a single player world that I've done, and it put me right in the air of a basalt delta. I'm like, this is terrible. But here we get pretty lucky. I like the crimson biome, and so I'm just kind of bridging out. I forgot to wear gold armor, so at first I was like, I didn't even mine any gold in front of this guy or anything, and then I'm like, oh, I should just get gold armor. So I end up going back in the middle of my bridge. I think I just make I make boots, because I only grabbed 4. I really like the old crafting, honestly. It can be sometimes frustrating if you're trying to find a specific item, but it's cool. It reminds me a lot of watching the Stampy videos, and he'd always have to craft like that. But anyways, I continue branching out here. The piglin isn't mad at me anymore, thankfully. And I'm just kind of exploring the area here, checking out. I know it's the crimson, not the crimson, oh my gosh, the blue biome. I'm blanking. The warped forest, which has high Enderman spawn rates. So here, I was just able to stare at a few, get them over to me in a little 2-block high little pit, and I was just trying to get a few ender pearls. I figure, might as well, if I see them around now, I could just get a few. I'm not sure how much I end up getting, but I think I might also break my sword soon. Durability's getting low. It's kind of weird doing the legacy version and having a shield, or even an offhand, but Oh yeah, there it is. So I just switched to the axe once my sword breaks, and you kind of see those little pillars I'm leaving. Here I make another one, a smaller one though. So yeah, I just try to every once in a while, leave some breadcrumbs, make a little too high pillar, and have a torch pointing towards where the portal is. So that way it's a landmark and it gives some sense of direction. And I'm just checking out the basalt. It was cool. We have a bunch of biomes nearby, and I'm just kind of exploring what is a easily traversable section of the Nether here. So there's the basalt delta. There's some glowstone I think I end up getting. Yeah. I left one, I remember, because I kind of like the glowstone's a nice natural lighting. Also figured I'd grab some quartz, although not really planning on doing a lot of redstone with it. But it's, I think, a good resource while you're first exploring the Nether to get here and there. Didn't really mind too much gold. I just didn't really have a big need for it, and I didn't want to make any of the piglins upset. So I'm just kind of exploring the Nether, and I see some soul sand in that little hole. So here's a quick time lapse of me just going down to where there's some bones, because I figured I can mine up these bones, turn it into bone meal for the farm I'm trying to work on. And so I was like, cool, there's a soul sand valley there, basalt delta, both the forests, and as I'm checking over here, I couldn't believe my eyes. Nether fortress bridge. I don't know if there's a blaze spawner super close to that, but I saw that and I'm like, okay, I know where it is. It's not too far. And in another episode, I'll have to check it out and try to see if there's some blaze rods we could get. Maybe get some nether warts so we can do potions, or start hopefully finding the stronghold at some point as well. And here I make just a giant cobblestone arrow. So I almost put the torch on the end, and then I'm like, I'll just put the torch on the side that leads me back. So I was pretty happy with how the Nether exploration went. I ended up going back home. There's an Enderman. Decided to kill him. Gotta get his pearls. And she didn't drop any of it, so yeah, here's how the farm's looking as well. Crops are growing in a bit. Use some bone meal to grow some, get some more bread. Bread might be the primary food source for a while. Maybe I'll try to do the livestock. That's why I put livestock down on the sign, because I was considering doing it this episode, but I was happy with the way the stairs and the bridge turned out. And not the message board, what am I saying? Like the task board. So yeah, I did the mountain scaling, the Nether focus. Those two were kind of the large part of what made this episode. And if you guys enjoyed this different style of video and you want to see more, like and comment, let me know what I should do next, what you think maybe I could change a little, or I don't know, almost level 30, so maybe we do some enchants soon. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.